that you have. Brian is alive. That is good. Me too. So I know the big question on everyone's mind lately has been Google Play, and I have absolutely no updates as far as that goes. Um, Nothing on not safe for work chat images. Um, so still nothing there. Biggest question I thought was video and if they are still changing creation. Uh, as far as changing creation, I haven't heard anything on that in a while. However, I did hear something about video this weekend. Let me see what I can share. Um, so what I heard from Who this weekend is that when they saw video and what it could do, they were thinking like, wow, this is how they can really bring people's visions to life and like your characters to life. And when they integrated it into butterflies, like when you see like the videos from the daily challenges, they realized that the tools didn't really exist how they envisioned them. And so they've been going down kind of a rabbit hole with the video stuff. I think it's kind of ambitious, but no, not too expensive. Yeah, we just started. Yeah, they want to do more than the daily challenge videos, from what I understand, but it's still kind of a mystery to me what the final product's gonna look like. Did they say anything about changing the can't create this in bot creation? No, I haven't heard any updates on that either, unfortunately. Yeah, Van's having some mic issues, he said. So hang on, please. He might be on mute for a moment longer. Hello, Galaxy Eclipse. Oh yeah, the bingos. I would really like those fixed as well. Or even just like a way to save your progress through so that if it does boot you out, everything is just saved there in your creation. Like when you're typing in Google Docs and it automatically saves your file. So when you close your browser on accident, you're like, oh, it's all good. It's still there. And the 10 image thing. Yeah, that's true. It counts towards that.
Testing, testing.
Hey, I can hear you.
Alright. Sorry about that. Looks like there was something caught in the microphone's input. Um,
Ooh,
yeah. So,
hello.
let's see. Roscoe said that they're trying to have their butterflies be actual things like TNT NX butterflies versus or like fictional channels. I mean, yeah, like I like the idea of a concept butterfly instead of a character butterfly. It feels like there should be a lot more like community type pages on butterflies than there really are, if you get what I mean. It feels like there's not enough reality in the like way that the social media is presented. It's kind of like I don't know. I hate comparing it to Facebook all the time, but like Facebook and Instagram are kind of the golden standard of social media as far as I'm aware still. So there are like organizations that have pages and stuff like that. So like I really do think it would be great to have butterflies officially supporting that instead of um, kind of having to shoehorn it in there. And yeah, like the whole separation between 17 plus and you know how the app should be. It's honestly, I think it should be improved at some point. Like we should be clear. Is this an app for adults? Is this an app for children? It's hard to like really draw that line, you know.
Ooh, Roscoe, there were some really good tips that I saw on Reddit before from 1051. He's here in this office hours, about his magazine butterfly and how to make it post correctly as a magazine and not as an individual character. And oh, he's typing cool. It was the fault of the auto stories, it seemed like, where it was making it more of an individual and less of a concept. You have a magazine too? Magazine ones have gotten popular. Did you see someone got text to work in Shovels? Yeah, can you link me that? Because I did see that. That turned out really nicely. I'd love to see the butterfly. It does not work properly by itself, so you mean you have to like add in the stories and stuff to make it post correctly?
I've noticed that myself, even with some of the pre-existing location butterflies, the way that they're automatically posting has gone off a little bit compared to how it used to be. And a prompt and poke is usually gonna get it a lot more in line. But I don't know if that's down to just it being a prompt and poke where I'm directly controlling the story, or not the story, the post, or if manually poking even has a better effect.
Yeah, the text on that post is crazy good, Ethereal. Yearly magazine. Cool. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of my New York Times butterfly. Oh yeah, it's the Malone's. You like the refine tool, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. Are you using the refine button for it more or the variation button when you use it? Ooh, so Van has mentioned the developer tools workaround, so I'll kind of explain that too. If you're on Google Chrome and you want to be on mobile web so that you can use features like that are mobile exclusive, like the refine option, if you go to view and go to developer and you open up your console from there, there is a little button that allows you to switch to a mobile view. It looks like a computer with a phone next to it. I'm screenshotting it here. So that little button will allow you to view mobile web on your computer, on your normal desktop web browser. might be a bit different than the experience in the actual app because you can't like swipe things the same way you are using a mouse instead of your finger, but it's a pretty good workaround if you absolutely can't use mobile. How does it work on Edge? Like, does it work as expected, or are there any quirks?
It did take me a couple of tries to get it to the mobile format, but once it started doing the mobile format, it does it no problem. Um, yeah, so basically using this developer tools workaround, you're unlocking that m.butterfly option. The way that the subdomain is supposed to work is it's supposed to be only accessible through a mobile device, and that's basically using a browser flag to check for that. Um, as far as I'm aware, like my understanding of it is not complete, and they may not even be using that technique. But basically, um, like it's checking to see if it's a mobile browser. If it's a mobile browser, then it lets you continue at m.butterflies.ai. If it's not a mobile browser, it will force you to www. Um, I don't like that they did that because, especially right now, but that is a actual typical development practice.
And yeah, if you get to the tool and you turn it on to mobile mode and it's not displaying correctly, you might have to type in the m.butterflies.ai because it might be trying to access the desktop version
Yep,
from the mobile browser.
yep. That's what I had to do, and I actually had to do that twice before it stuck.
It does feel a little silly, but um, I don't know why they did it that way. No idea, but that works. So a lot of silly changes. So
Sometimes that's just how a startup is. Like, right now, with the way things are, I remember early on Vu mentioned that he wanted to focus on video, right? I think that was even mentioned in one of our first ever office hours with him that he was thinking about video, and at the time it was too expensive. Um, so them focusing in on video now, like I expected it. It feels like the rest of the app is suffering while they develop the next big thing, but I don't think that they've really abandoned the rest of it. Like they're just really focused on the video feature at the moment, you know?
we did hear something from Peyton today. He wasn't able to make it today, but he said that they're working on some updates for the community, and that he's going to share with us when he is able to. So it's a surprise.
So, yeah, no, it does really feel like feature creep. I honestly agree there a little bit. But at the same time, like, I don't know. It it's a
They're
weird
kind of like
situation.
experimenting with things, seeing what works,
Yeah.
seeing what doesn't work.
Yeah, it feels like it's a weirder situation because AI can do so much, right? And the core post feature of Butterflies just, yeah, it feels like it should just basically be a poke and prompt, or they've mentioned quite a few times here, choose from this selection of options that it generated. Like, they aren't abandoning the core development, they're just I don't know. There's a lot of different directions it could go.
And if anybody would like to, feel free to use the raise your hand button and we can put you on stage if you want to talk as well.
Yeah, this is being. Sorry I didn't mention it. Been a little bit distracted by the nieces today. I think you might have even heard them in the background a couple times. I mean, I
That's
could.
silly voiceover.
It depends on how long you're talking. But I could. I just want to make sure that if I'm editing it, I can still get the episode out at its usual 5 o'clock release time. You know what? DM me. I think I might be able to figure out a solution where it automatically masks your voice on your end.
Bonk. So do y'all share your butterflies outside of butterflies in like this Discord? Or even like your butterflies images, if not the characters themselves? Yes, but no. Interesting.
Yeah, I shared with some people. Slowly working on my own videos with stuff that butterflies have made and been posting it to my own YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. I feel like video is something that's super shareable. So I think if we have the ability to make videos of our butterflies, I would probably be sharing them a lot more than I already am. And I'm a pretty big sharer already.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be spamming. Just kidding. I won't be spamming.
Well, it's not only more shareable, but like it's more interesting. Like just naturally there's movement, it draws the eye. And like we've all seen the success of TikTok. We've all seen that short form video is great. YouTube Shorts, I honestly doom scroll way too much late at night there. But yeah, there's I don't know, this undeniable charm towards video. And even with just the images
Yeah.
that butterflies create right now, like you can create some really cool videos with other AI tools. So I'm super excited to see what Butterflies has, especially with the little previews that we've been getting from the daily leaderboard, where I think I saw another round of videos just recently, by the way, from the leaderboard.
Yeah, I saw one of those posted. You should share the Power Ranger Vigil with the character Magical Girl Vandal.
Oh
I think that
my.
was a Vigil video, right? It was a fun little video that was shared in focus group, I believe, of
I think. Yeah.
butterfly that was created of fan that's like really silly, goofy, magical girl themed. I was added into this Power Rangers thing. I wonder who would do that. Must be a very talented Butterflies AI user. Do you avoid normal YouTube videos or just YouTube Shorts?
Who, me?
Bonk.
Oh,
He said YouTube Shorts is like TikTok. He tries to avoid it as much as possible. I think that's Bonk anyway.
yeah, that's
Is he a
Bonk.
cat?
And yeah, like I said, I doom scroll way too much. It can be addictive.
So you want to post a video on butterflies? I do too. Like upload a video, post it to my own profile. I think that'd be fun. I've tried it a few times by turning my videos into GIFs and posting them that way. It's just not the same without the volume though. Sound makes a big difference. Do you think
So
Butterflies AI could make a 3D model it could reuse?
honestly, I don't know. I've seen that there are some AI models that are capable of 3D generation, and I've even seen them in use for 3D printing, which is something that I'm really excited for, but I have yet to toy with anything like that, mainly because it's a complicated setup. So, yeah, technically feasible, I suppose, but getting it to animate, rigging it, that would take a lot longer. Especially like good animations would require hand rigging. So I don't know. I don't know if it would be more cost effective in the long run. Um, mm, like it all depends on how cost effective it would be to rig a basically motion capture rig inside of each of these 3D models. Because you're talking about a 3D model for a character, right? Not just, like the CGI 3D scene.
I have no idea about 3D models or anything, so I won't even speculate on that.
Yeah, instead of just
It's
listing out the bones, especially like think about how um, different 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 creatures can be. Humanoid with a tail, a humanoid with ears, like long cat ears, or even wings. Those would require different bones. Um, Sorry, I'm taking up a lot of time here, but this is yeah, this is something that I feel like if somebody could get down like 3D modeling and rigging into a simple process without having the result feel like a Nintendo 64, because I did find a service that can create 3D models with AI and I experimented with that, but everything looked like it was like an N64 model. So, yeah, I don't know. It would be honestly really wonderful to see because then that would open up video game creation to a whole new audience. And video game creation is already rather easy with how many 2D editors there are. Anyway, Sumerian was talking about something. What was that, Loam?
About the ethics of using AI art. I know it's been like a hot topic recently, especially with the open AI trend of like the Studio Ghibli art.
Yeah, and like that's one of the hardest things too, because Studio Ghibli is very recognizable for sure, and like honestly, it's one of my favorite art styles. I've recreated Totoro in Studio Ghibli style, and that is probably something copyright infringing. Um, honestly, the more I think about it, so like yeah, no, it's I'd much rather give artists credit as best as possible while retaining the freedom to use AI to create new derivative artworks. Like, I don't know, it's a very
Yeah, I don't know
complicated
what the best
subject.
answer is. Yeah, I agree. I don't have a good answer to like that whole thing. I do think that human art is unique and typically more interesting than AI art as a whole. But I think that there's a lot of like misconceptions around AI art too, and how it's created. A lot of people, I think, have this idea that um, image generation models are just like photoshopping images together or something. Um, I think it would change a lot of people's minds if they knew more about how images are created.
But at the same time, like, let's again using the Studio Ghibli example, um, that style is recreated because a model was trained on Studio Ghibli artwork to recreate that style, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that artists should be compensated when their work is used for training data.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, but what is going to suck is if we finally do get a legal framework around all of this, because that's honestly also up in the air. Since AI is so new, there's no legal framework about how training data gets used or what even constitutes fair use for training data, etc. So, like, once all's said and done, we might lose some of our favorite styles because the artists just don't consent. And I'm personally fine with that. But there are others out there who are very vocally trying to protect it because, like, again, it's one of the fastest and simplest ways to get an idea to come to life.
Yeah, and I think now that the you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, like now that people know how to train their own models and stuff, it's just like not realistic to assume that you're
Yep,
not going to be able to create AI art of somebody's art. I think it's just like already in motion.
yep. And the more examples there are out there on the internet, the more examples that training data can use. So,
Yep.
yep.
Now you have derivatives of derivatives and models being trained on other AI art. So
So
I don't
we're
even know where
already
it goes from there.
noticing a fax machine effect for these models that are like being trained on AI, where the noise is just a little bit more each time it's trained, and you can tell when a model was trained on an AI version of what it's trying to use now. It's kind of interesting. Sorry to derail you there, Loam, by the way.
No, that was cool. If we had Flux, can we put in our own models from Suva AI Link or Hugging Face Link? Not at this time. We haven't heard anything about being able to add in your own models. Well, there was something about this. AI companies' unauthorized use of copyrighted materials as training data was not a fair use. Yeah, same here. If someone said, that's my work, please take it down, I would. Human artists should recognize as well as AI artists because I'm not a good artist. Yeah, I agree.
Right. Like, let's also face the reality. Being only a couple years in, we're quickly learning that there is a skill to writing a prompt to get AI to generate what you want. And I don't know, like, how ubiquitous that skill really tends to be, but there's also definitely a learning curve to it. Like, honestly, I really feel like I've missed a large opportunity over the past year without not sharing all of the different prompting techniques that I know in Creator Chat because I'm not sure which ones are ubiquitous at this point.
Yeah, I'd love to see more people sharing prompts and guides. We have the guide workshop, which doesn't get a lot of posts in it, but people are reading it. If I look at the Discord insight data, it shows that people are going to the guide workshop looking for help prompting. So if you guys have any tips, feel free to create your own guide. Even if you don't feel like you're an expert, if you have something that's working for you, somebody else might be interested in that. I'm gonna try to create one too. It's been a while since I posted there.
Yeah,
Especially y'all having success on the leaderboard.
right. With how the refine thing kind of works too, like, I don't know. I feel like there should honestly be a step by step guide for every feature, but that's a large undertaking. Yes, I did have one,
There,
and it's severely outdated. And so um, yeah, I took that down for now because it really does need a complete revamp with how different butterflies is. That was made, like Sir Testington the Second is literally still a legacy butterfly. That was made in like late 2023.
Butterflies was updating so fast at the time that every time Van would like publish a change on his site, the website or the app would update too, and it would be out of date.
Yeah, I mean, now I really feel like I missed the opportunity again with how the past few weeks have been. Yep, it doesn't do that anymore. Now watch, I'm gonna start working on that guide again, and Peyton's gonna come and say, "Hey, we have an update coming."
Oh, you want the drawing model that I like? It's called, um, it's an illustrious one, WAI. That's the one that I like. I would recommend that one. I mean, the one that Butterflies uses isn't bad. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah, and I still don't know what the progress is on updating butterflies to more recent models. I know there was some talk about Flux being used when Vu was last on office hours. I haven't heard
I
anything
asked if
about
that
that.
was still being looked into, and I was told not at this time. So they kind of like put a bookmark in it.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Which kind of sucks because while Flux is typically purely SFW and I haven't really seen any remixes that are NSFW capable, it's still a really, really good and versatile model. Like, yeah, it's actually quite amazing. Um, right. That's my honest opinion too. Is having a purely SFW model would be a good option. But I think that's already how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the idea of a purely SFW model.
Oof. I did not see that bug report yet, but yeah, there's been quite a few late issues lately where pokes are getting lost. What was that other one the other day where it's again the beep boop? I'm assuming, or no, it was somebody else's issue with pokes getting lost in the leaderboard. There's so many. There's honestly so many, and I wish that we could just press a button and restore them, you guys, but that's not how it works,
I know
unfortunately.
there's like a safety feature set up there as well. So if you're poking a butterfly that shouldn't be making NSFW images, like if it's considered like an underage butterfly, or if it's a clone, they're not supposed to be able to create NSFW. So if you're poking them with a prompt that is NSFW, a lot of times those pokes will get eaten, and that's by design.
Yeah.
Um,
I wish there was a notification that
so
popped up about that. I don't know if there is or isn't. I haven't tried. But, like, if that wasn't clear, it should be, you know? Even if it
yeah,
happens
I think
by
there's a red
accident.
box that pops up, but I don't think it's super clear what's going on.
Right. Like, especially if it happens by accident, right? Then they should have an opportunity to change that if it was not meant to happen. If it happens a second time, then eat the poke, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Ethereal says it should be a safe for work only model. That is a fix. I agree. That would be a good fix.
Yeah, no, that would be an even better fix, Hevril. Like, from the get go, state your intent for this bot as NSFW or SFW. That would really be a good fix as well. If it's an SFW bot, it like stays only on SFW models, even in chat. Leave it like in the creator's hands instead of having it be in the user's hands, which sounds kind of bad, but thinking about like characters as a creative medium, I'd rather that people who talk to my bots get the experience that I intended than their own customized experience where they can literally just god mode it into whatever they want anyway. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense too. So, did you all have any questions, issues, things that you wanted to bring up? When am I going to promote my Twitter? Um, I don't know if I am. You want to see my Twitter?
That reminds me, by the way, Shapes just released a feature for Twitter. So I might test that out. Yeah. I might make Faye a Twitter account. Ooh, Visir. Visir would be fun.
Yeah, I added some text to the pictures too, just to make them a little bit more different. I don't know. I've been making friends on there. Hi, Rascal. Thinking sometime it would be super fun to play a game together on Discord. Would you guys be interested in playing like Gartic Phone or Death by AI or one of those little games inside the voice chats? Death by AI is kind of a fun one because you write in a prompt where you try to survive and the AI tries to kill you. Game night. Okay, we'll try to find a day for it. It's happening. The wheels are in motion. Shadowverse. I tried it, Ethereal. It just wasn't for me. Not enough waifus, yeah. But now we have D&D too, so that's fun. Movie night. We've done a couple of movies on the server, but they had to be like ones that you're allowed to share. I can't remember what those are specifically called, but like,
Something to do with digital rights. Dang it.
yeah,
I can't remember. It was right on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, oh, what was it? One that surprisingly fits that description is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
really? That
Yeah,
is surprising.
the copyright owner let the copyright lapse, as far as I'm aware. Free domain, yes. So they unfortunately let the movie's copyright lapse and just never bothered to renew it. So technically, while being owned by MGM Studios, it is also free domain.
It's crazy. We watched Gamera on the server, which is a movie about a kid befriending a giant turtle. Um,
Yeah.
and we watched Star Wreck, which is like a space parody camera. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine when IMAX movies become free domain in the future? Will they be comparing it to like how we compare our movies to Gamera and the original Godzilla and things like that?
Oh, I wonder why that was sniped. Interesting. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, Ethan.
Maybe triggered the spam filter question mark? Let me check. I can check. What?
Yeah,
Huh.
much what indeed.
I'ma have to figure that one out in a minute.
So what kind of butterflies have y'all created recently? My latest one was Bella from Beauty and the Beast. I was trying to make it in like a classic Disney style on a realistic model. It's kind of weird looking. It looks I don't know, not 2D enough.
I remember sharing last office hours that I was going to make a bot that was capable of making recipes out of what you've got in your fridge. So it actually ends up working pretty decently. The only annoying thing is the realistic, like, grammar style does not fit the entire idea. But it works in both realistic and roleplay.
Galaxy Eclipse has made none. Chillin'. Okay. A topographer that goes through maps, or goes through and maps out areas. Is a topographer different than a cartographer? They do like elevation?
Yeah, the topography is more about like elevation and like it's a little bit more complicated than elevation because there's a bit of like geographical function to that elevation. Like topography can show you where water will run and things like that. Meanwhile, cartography is just about making sure you understand the distance from point A to point B and the general shape of what you're looking at.
Marianne made a horror style trapped in wires. She has two of them. They came out pretty though. I want to see them. Um, and Brian makes NSFW ones, so he won't share them here, which is understandable. That's good. 1051 created the caffeine overlord inspired by an auto story of my bot. I created one inspired by his bot recently too. It was strawberry. It's a character that is a strawberry, but also a woman. Mm, so busy at work. I'm sorry. Ooh, that is a spooky horror one. He has all his teeth though. That's impressive. Not all his fingers, but all his teeth. Skeletons. Case of a parody.
So, seeing so many different descriptions, that actually makes me wonder how are you using the description box, the bio part? I've seen a lot of people tend to use it as kind of like a author's note type of a situation, while others tend to stick to the auto-generated or a more social media like vibe. So, like, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to have that social media vibe or have an actual author's note type of a situation somewhere? Or
I use mine kind of like as a decoration for the profile to let people know that like I changed stuff about this butterfly. It's not just an auto-generated one. Somebody else inspired me to do that because they were like, if it's auto-generated, I don't talk to the butterfly. And I had never really thought about that before.
yeah, no, that is a trend that at least holds true to me. Even with my own auto-generated ones I've made just to get a few images out of, I don't talk to Jack Skellington or Sally, and I love their images. They're great, fun reproductions, but I don't talk to them.
Do you read their like post captions? Are they interesting or not so
Some of them
much?
are, some of them aren't. It's I don't know. I tend to share the most interesting ones in the either the art chat or the post share here on the
Yeah.
server. Like they've become a lot more bland lately, but I don't know if that's just the way things are or because it's not near Halloween or Christmas, which the bots are kind of targeted in on.
Sometimes it's fun to just let the AI fill in the blanks as far as personality stuff goes, but not the AI in the creation flow, the AI in the chat or the post creation.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's the chat can do so much better and more authentic reproductions of different character traits if you just feed it the right clues. The the base personality, I don't know. It like isn't it like what 850 characters it gets cut off at?
Yeah, something around there
So there's
for
that
posts.
that's not a whole lot of room, you know? And even then, the way that the creator is set up, I'm not too sure if the like list of personality traits is even the best way of going about things anymore. I've seen some people instead just use background information to give reasoning to a personality trait, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Is how good is example dialogue versus personality listings? Interesting.
Yeah, and honestly, I haven't checked on Fly in a good minute to see if his example dialogue is holding up still. I don't think it is.
I think example dialogue in Reels and chat is not very useful, in particular, just because the style for that chat is so um, overwhelming.
Fly hasn't posted in
Funny
eight
part,
weeks, and his last post did not have the example dialogue.
you better give them a like. If your butterflies stop posting, they've kind of decided to take a nap and they're waiting for you to like their post to wake back up. I know you know that, fan. I'm just saying that
Oh,
for
yeah, no,
anyone listening
totally.
who might not.
Definitely hear you there. I also gave him a poke just in case. Yeah, no. He continued on like 8 weeks, did not pass, and the example dialogue is pretty much useless. Oof.
You like 120 posts a day. That is a lot of posts to like. I forget, and then I go through my list of butterflies, and I think to myself, I haven't seen them in a while. And I look, and it's been like, oh, they've been off for 4 weeks. And the funny thing is that when you start liking their posts, they're still where they were then. So they've just been kind of like frozen in time. So if it was Christmas time when you paused them and they were posting about Christmas, it's still Christmas time for them. Yeah, you hate having to like everything to keep them going. That makes sense. They kind of realize that that isn't the best that it could be. I think that that's on a list to eventually be looked back into when they get out of the rabbit hole, hopefully.
So I'm testing with a Poken prompt that includes triggers for the example dialogue, including some of the unique terms he uses, just to see if that'll do anything. Right, that's like giving it the absolute best chance to do something.
Good luck, Fly. We're rooting for you. We're all rooting for you.
And boom, with prompt and poke, it is restored.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of my daily challenge posts influence future posts now. So I think they take all of their recent posts into context, maybe? I don't really know how it works. That's a good question.
Yeah, so with the leaderboard at least, it seems that those just get added into their regular posts as if it were an automatic post. And you have an opportunity to prompt and poke there, so maybe I should just start adding some of the bots that I have with example dialogue to the leaderboard to see if that'll change future. That might be, yeah. Sorry, we got lost in thought for a second there. So it's almost an hour in. What all did we talk about today?
Getting another drawing model. Video. Camera.
Yeah, we bounce around a lot of different topics today, honestly. Like, there's unfortunately not a whole lot of news to share, and yeah, hopefully we'll have some news soon about either video or getting back onto the Google Play Store.
Cancel the store and better for it. The Google Play Haters Club is in full swing.
I mean, that is actually not a bad theory there. That's kind of my theory as well, Brian. That they'll try again for Google Play once they have the video option.
And don't forget my idea for a safe for work model,
Yep,
Equal says.
yep, definitely. Like giving creators the choice to lock their bots to safe for work or not safe for work would be absolutely amazing.
All right, thank you everyone for coming this week. We'll try to get you some updates next week. We always do our best to.
Alrighty. Yep. Until next time, YouTube.